Hello, this is another Tell a Friend video, so tough video, and it's about the scenario of a forced vaccination. When you actually talk to people about vaccination, they say vaccination is good. They know vaccination from measles or polio or influenza, so they're actually happy about vaccination. Now the question is, when you then ask them about this forced vaccination, they say, well, yeah, it's fine for me, because I think like 80 or even more % of people say, yeah, it's fine, I will take the vaccination anyway. And now the thing is, so these people then do not oppose. And now what I want to show is, what do? We have a problem with 20% of the population that might say we do not want to receive a vaccine that has not been thoroughly tested, and we have an immune system that is really, really good, and we do not want forced vaccination. And now I would put here May 2020, that is today, so it's 5th May 2020. And now what they are going to do, they are going to develop a vaccine. So maybe around December 2020, there will be the arrival of a vaccine, so how do you draw this, so there's a vaccine available. And so there will be the first people, that say, oh, fine, I want the vaccine. And what will then happen is they get their injection and they get a gold badge, gold badge, so that everybody can see that they have been vaccinated and have received a vaccine. And so they're very happy and proud that they carry so much good to the country. And so they're very proud. And now they obviously also get a benefit from that. So they can take flights, they can travel, they can go to work, shops, school, without mask. So it's very beneficial. It's like with an electric car, you're allowed to park for free and parking spaces. So you buy an electric car, and because you then can park for free and you find parking spots. And so initially there will be few people, 1%, 2%, and so on. And so it will be like, I would say it's an estimate, but over the period of 1 year, so December 2021, you will have maybe, let's put it, 80% of people have received a vaccine. And then some might have forgotten, they didn't have time, but I think about 10 to 20% will actually oppose, because they say religious reasons, doesn't matter, have a great immune system, I don't want that, and whatever. And now what will happen to these guys is actually that these guys, at this time, here everybody will have this badge. So these 80% will have this badge and have these benefits. And these the 10 to 20% don't have the benefits. But what will now happen is that now that most people have the positive badge, because this is all great, this is all the smiley and great, you're fantastic thing. And now these guys, actually, they are the negative things. So what they will get is, they will get, and I put it as really as the star of David, that's David, so it's for the Jews, and that is what they have to carry, so that everybody can see that he's a danger for society, and so he carries that. And now the problem is that obviously that these guys then are not allowed to, I want to draw that, they are not allowed to travel the world, so no travel, they will not be allowed to go to shops or to enter a bus or a train and so on. So this is all forbidden to them. And maybe a lot of people of these guys say, well, that's fine, and I don't travel, I don't go to work, I don't. And now it starts. What happens, if they have kids, so they have kids, and now one of them, so daddy or mom, is not has not received a vaccine. So these guys are maybe also, their children are also part of this group. And everybody will say, okay, look, so you will have a population of people that actually are green, so they are gold badged, and they will start to then finger point to these people, and will be very upset with those guys, and the others will also look at them and point at them. And so what will start is over the next months or so, let's say these one will be excluded already, from normal social life. But then if they, for example, they have a house, or actually they have a business, so they're a hairdresser or whatever, then these people will not go there anymore. So they will actually go bankrupt, or only the guys that also carry such a star, they will then come. So they will lose lots of business. They will not be allowed to do business. And what will then also happen, these guys will then, the first one of those, or maybe a mean one, will start to kind of throw a stone into the window. And more people will then say, oh yeah, let's do that. And we know that this will happen from a psychological level, because it will become, and I write that maybe in red, it will become the new normal. So the new normal is, we have a gold badge and the others are the enemies. And then the first stone is thrown, the first glass is broken, and then more and more people actually have no kind of fear, or they say, why, this is the new normal and these are the enemies of our well-being. Now the thing is, I think that will happen because the normal mechanism is that, let's say, when, these kind of this group of followers, they develop their own kind of reasoning why they are right. And that works in the following way. So the followers, they usually develop in that way. I did not know. So there we are kind of around here. So they all can say, I did not know that this will happen. And then the second, it will be, it is not that bad. So come on, he should just receive the gold badge and get his injection. And then the third is, I can not do anything against it. Why? Because it's the new normal. And so then that is the normal procedure that we will have. And we have seen that 1933 to 1938. We've seen that in many populations that this happens. This is actually something that's very, very easy. It sometimes reminds me of this little thing where you put a frog into a can of in a bowl of water. So you put the frog in here. So you have a little frog in here, and now you slowly heat the water underneath, and the water becomes warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. And the poor frog actually is going to be fried because he gets so weak that he can't jump out. Now, on opposite, if you now take a frog, it's easy. It's not easy for me to kind of... You throw a frog in here, a fresh frog, into the hot water, he will immediately jump out, because he hasn't had the new normal. The new normal for him is here 20 degrees and not 50. While for this frog, the new normal had been maybe 45 degrees. And at 45 degrees, he has gone through 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of being exhausted more and more. And so this is kind of what is here. So I always, what is happening here, I always like to remember this because it makes it very, very easy to remember this mechanism. So what I say is, and this is now maybe a suggestion to do, because what I've seen is that I would estimate about 20%, maybe more, of the population is very weak. They have a poor immune system. Now, immune system. So now we can discuss whether it's their responsibility or not whether it's society's responsibility, the doctors, and so on. But it is that they have a very weak immune system. And so for those guys, it is probably not a bad idea to give them a vaccination, because they cannot cope with it. But I would say in excess of 50, maybe it's 80% of people have a really, really good immune system still till now, with the bad food we are eating and with the much with our society. And so I would say for the 20%, if they want to, fine, go to the pharmacy, because this is one of the things. So go to the pharmacy, first go to your doctor, and then if he tells you yes, and you go to the pharmacy, you get your medicine, and the doctor gives you the vaccine as vaccination. That is perfectly all right. So you are happy, you have a weak immune system, and these 80% are happy because they don't have to take that vaccination. And I think that would be a perfect solution to this severe problem, which is introduced by this forced vaccination. Thanks for listening, and hope to see some comments. Bye bye.